Coming to get you, Bobber.
The Hole in the Ground is a 2019 horror movie directed by Lee Cronin, and it stars Shona Kerslake, James Quinn Markey and James Cosmo. I'm continuing my search for 2019 horror movies where critics love a horror movie and the audience don't really like it very much, and The Hole in the Ground is one of those. It did come out earlier in the year. I didn't get a chance to check it out. I didn't even know it came out in the cinema back in March in the UK, but I've watched it now and I'm just going to give you my thoughts. A young mother living in the Irish countryside with her son suspects his increasingly disturbing behaviour is linked to a mysterious sinkhole in the forest and fears he may not be her son at all. First off, this is an Irish horror movie. I'm not Irish, I'm Scottish. I know a lot of you get me mixed up with being Irish and Scottish, but I am Scottish. This movie is set in Ireland, and the good thing is it's got Irish actors. Apart from James Cosmo, who's from Clydebank near Glasgow where I'm from, James Cosmo puts on a great Irish accent. But if you're not too familiar with the Irish accent and if you need subtitles, you're probably best to use subtitles for this movie because they're very, very Irish in this. This is one of the films that I didn't watch the trailer for, and I'm actually enjoying not watching trailers for some horror movies, and this is one of them. I've just seen a couple of posters, I read the synopsis, and I thought this does sound pretty interesting. We've got this mother and son who live in the countryside. They live in this big house themselves, and they don't mention the dad very much. Where is the dad? Where did the dad go? I've no idea. And the son doesn't have a clue where the dad is either. He seems to be thinking the dad's away for a while and he'll be coming back. But as the movie progresses, we find out that I think the dad died in a car accident, and the mum's got a scar on her head as well, and I think it might be recent as well. So she's still trying to grieve with the fact that this dad has died. I'm assuming he's died. He might have not, but let's just assume for the sake of this review that he did die, and she's going through a grieving process. She had to move away to the countryside with her son, and she finds this massive sinkhole near her back garden, and so does her son, and that's when the creepy things start to happen. The setting was totally stunning. It was so eerie as well. We had this old lady on the road that they had to swerve around. This whole scene was very disturbing, and just the mood and the way the cinematography was in this scene was great. And this was at the very beginning of the film, so it kind of built you up to this really dark, scary, eerie story. Apart from James Cosmo, I don't think I've seen anybody else in this film being in any other movie, so I wasn't too sure what to expect with the acting. I think the boy in this film was really good. Again, I've never seen him in anything. The girl, the mother, she reminded me a lot like the actress Rachel Hall, is it? Rebecca Hall, sorry. Rebecca Hall from Iron Man 3. She looked a lot like her, and when I saw the posters I thought Rebecca Hall was in this film, but it's not her. Although this film's been out for over 6 months, I still don't want to give anything away because I think getting into this movie without any spoilers is going to be a better experience for you. So a few things that I will say about this is it felt like the Babadook. Now, take that as you will. Some people love the Babadook, some people hate the Babadook. I personally think the Babadook is a masterpiece, one of the greatest movies of the last 20 years. That's how good I think it is. And not because it's a horror movie, because it's this psychological drama that deals with grief and loss, and the way that that was acted was amazing. And again, that's for a different video. But this movie felt similar because you've got this woman and her son, and that's all that's left. And the son's acting a little crazy, and she's going a bit crazy. She looks like it. She's got a bump on her head. She's lost her husband, and she's got nothing going for her. And it looks like she's got this thing building up in her head where the son's becoming evil. She doesn't know him anymore. He's not who he says he is. And it seems like she's going a little psychotic. So that's when it becomes this psychological drama, a psychological drama with horror elements, just like the Babadook. But then the third act of this film turns that whole story on its head. I think that made the movie a little bit worse than what I thought it was going to be. I was expecting a finale like the Babadook, and I think I would have been a lot more pleased with the ending that I thought we were going to get. However, the ending that we got was surprising, so I'll give them props for that. I just wasn't expecting it, and because it happened the way it did, I was a little bit disappointed with the last act. However, if you didn't like the Babadook for the reasons that the Babadook, or for the route that the Babadook took, I think that you're going to enjoy The Hole in the Ground a lot more. Another point, without giving anything away, if you like The Descent, then that's another reason why you should watch The Hole in the Ground. One thing you could call clever is we've got this old lady in the film and we don't know why she's crazy. And with her reasons becoming crazy, it shows and it comes full circle with somebody else in the film, and you're thinking, okay, is this something that the hole in the ground is doing to this old lady, or is she just going crazy? And are we seeing the same thing happening again with somebody else? And I think that's where I was enjoying the movie, because I'm thinking, okay, this is something psychological. But like I said, when the third act happens, I thought, oh, okay. This is another thing that doesn't give anything away, but the ending to me was ambiguous. I don't know if you're going to watch the film and thinking that was a solid ending and it gave me all the answers that I needed. If it does, then great. I think that's what's good about the ending of this. For me, it was ambiguous and it gave me the choice on what I think happened at the end. So I think we'll all see something different with the ending of The Hole in the Ground. I think that's something that they were very clever with as well. Overall, guys, I actually enjoyed this one again, and I think I'm going to side with the critics again on this one. I think it was a lot better than I've seen the ratings for on IMDb, etc. Some people do hate this movie, some people think it's okay, but I think it's above average. I think it's a really good movie. If you've seen The Hole in the Ground, guys, as always, leave your comments down below and let me know what you thought of it. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching the game. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.